So this is just the first introduction to reading tablature for the guitar band tunes, playing the melody on the guitar. If you just take out the sheet that I gave you, the first one, it's called Band Tunes Guitar 1. You can see there in front of you. Now, on tablature, we've got 6 lines. Each of those lines represents the string on the guitar, right? So basically, our top line here, which is the first string. Now, the first string is this one on the guitar. It's the thinnest one, that string, yeah, okay. And then, of course, we've obviously got 5 other strings. So we've got the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, finishing with the sixth string, lowest note. Now, each string has got a name. There are 2 possible ways of tuning the guitar. The standard tuning are to the notes of E, B, G, D, A, and E, right? So every boy gets dinner at 8. Now for the band tunes, we will be using another tuning. It's called Dagdad, D-A-G-D-A-D, but we can talk about that later on. But the main lesson to get from this is that just each of those lines stands for a string on the guitar, starting with the first, that's the top one, and finishing with the sixth, that's the bottom line. Now, then you've got your guitar here, and this here is called the nut of the guitar. That's the point there where the strings go onto the tuning pegs. And then you've got frets. The frets are represented by these lines here. Yeah? And here are your frets, these pieces of wire. Now, when you're placing your fingers on, we'll talk about it later on, you've got to place them behind the frets. You don't put them actually on the fret. You place your finger behind the fret, like I've said there. Now, of course, these things are called the tuning pegs, and that's how you tune the guitar, tightening those or loosening those. There are many tuning apps that you can get on your phone, and I'll talk through that in the first lesson when we're doing the Kerry polka. Now, I've said there the guitar is lying on the table, and that's the shall we say, the sequence of the strings. Now, the standard tuning would be E, B, G, D, A, E, or Dagdad, which we'll be using for the band tunes. In other words, the first string will be D instead of E. The second string will be A instead of B. So you've changed those 2. Then these 3 strings remain the same, G, D, and A. And then your E becomes a D. It's called drop D. You drop it down. What did I say here? Yeah. So when you're reading tablature now, the large number on the tablature sheet, this large number, shall we say, in the Kerry polka, that stands for the fret. So what string are we on? We're on the first, second, third, fourth. We're on the 4th string, and we're actually on the 4th fret. So let's look at it here. So this is the 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. So I'll put my finger there, and it's actually my 3rd finger that I'm going to put there, not on top of the fret, but just behind it. Yeah? And what finger will I use? It'll be my 3rd finger, because the small number in red there, the small number, the index number, that tells you what finger you use. Starting with your index finger is number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So if you look at your fingers here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'll use my 3rd finger, not my longest finger, the one beside my longest finger, just before my small finger. And my 3rd finger will play the 4th string, 4th fret. And then the next 0 will stand for the string open. No finger on it. And then 2 will stand for the 2nd fret on the 5th string. By the way, we started on the 4th string with 4. And then you see we've jumped on to the 5th string with 0. Then we play 2, 0. So 2, and what finger do you use? The small number tells you use your 1st finger. So that's basically how you read tablature. You look and you see what string is it on. It's on the 4th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what fret do you play? The big number tells you the 4th fret, snuggled in just behind the 4th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, just there. And then what do you do next? You jump onto the 5th string here, and you play 0. That means you play the string open. And then you play 2, and then you play 0 again. Now, what else I've got just on that first page? Yeah, when you're playing the string, you can, for starters, the simplest thing is to use your thumb. So let's just use our thumb. It'll be a down motion like that. Or, so you can practice just playing all the strings. If you're using a plectrum, the easiest moment, you hold the plectrum like this, with the point in towards the thing. You hold it between your thumb and your first finger, and you will do a downward movement. Now later on, you'll be able to get 2 notes from a down and an up movement like this. Down, up, down, up. If you do it fast, then you can do it.